The left-right paradigm concept theorizes that the two opposing political parties utilize their tremendous hold over mainstream media to dramatize political distractions and engage in covert warfare and operations, in grand performances of bureaucratic rivalry meant to propagandize and divide the populace. Divisive issues are purposefully fed through the major media outlets to divert attention away from the ruling class's hidden and ulterior, and sometimes global, agendas. By drawing attention to the differences between the two embedded political systems, ideologies, races, and classes, the political groups obscure political clarity and divide unity among the masses. The tactic creates confusion and frustration among the population, which enables the ruling class to increase and consolidate their wealth and power through maintaining an illusion of a two-party system of checks and balances that actually works. The theory contends that the fresh interjection of a new political party or group, such as the expanding Libertarian or Green parties, into the political arena, would be the only way to provide a means to break the cyclical paradigm currently established in the political system.
So I have solved this little political dilemma for myself in a very simple way. On election day, I stay home. I don't vote. Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't vote. Two reasons I don't vote. First of all, it's meaningless. This country was bought and sold and paid for a long time ago. The shit they shuffle around every 4 years. And secondly, I don't vote because I believe if you vote, you have no right to complain. People like to twist that around, I know. They say, well, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. But where's the logic in that? If you vote and you elect dishonest, incompetent people, and they get into office and screw everything up, well, you are responsible for what they have done. You caused the problem. You voted them in. You have no right to complain. I, on the other hand, who did not vote, who, in fact, did not even leave the house on election day, am in no way responsible for what these people have done and have every right to complain as loud as I want about the mess you created that I had nothing to do with. So I know that a little later on this year, you're going to have another one of those really swell presidential elections that you like so much. You'll enjoy yourselves. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure as soon as the election is over, your country will improve immediately. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right.
So using their symbolism, you should look at the world not as a division simply between the rich and the poor. That will never help you understand. You can't even divide it by the rich, the middle class, and the poor. This, again, is too small of thinking. You must view the world through their structure of a pyramid. This is a pyramid. The base is very large, and as you go up to the top, it gets smaller and smaller. If you were to fill it with people, you would see that at the base of the pyramid, you could fill it with the most people. And as you move up the pyramid, the amount of people in it gets smaller each level you go up. This is exactly how the world works, and you will not understand anything else unless you understand that. Now, after you understand that, as you go up different levels, you'll see that there are different motivators that move this world. When you get to the very top, it is easier to see that money is not even a thought, and it is at the top of the pyramid where all the decisions about this world are made. So let's go back to that point about money being the main motivator. This is a level of thinking that is at the bottom of the pyramid. That is because they are the ones without it, and therefore they believe that obtaining it will make their lives better. And so the majority at the base of this pyramid commit their lives to moving up to a higher level within this pyramid, thinking it's all about money. But let's just review these levels in the pyramid. because this is where so much of the confusion is. How most people want to look at this pyramid is that at the next level is where we have the enforcers of the system like the police, the IRS, etc. And then after that is wealth. But the levels do not move up because of positions or wealth. People move up in the pyramid by knowledge and initiation. Each level that moves up in this pyramid is about a person's level of initiation. And as a person gains in knowledge and is initiated in the ways of the world, they become one that holds its secrets. Though in the beginning the secrets are minimal. Understand, just because you see someone on television or they're an entertainer, it does not mean that they're at a high level in the pyramid. Just because they're throwing up hand signs does not mean that they're at a high level. The truth is that on the next level above us are those that have literally just sold out and are trying to get the attention or prove their loyalty to move up. And what comes with that is often more money and more access. That's why their level on the pyramid contains the second most amount of people. And for the most part, money and fame are the biggest motivations for them. But again, as you move up in the hierarchy in the pyramid, the amount of people in each level decreases, and along with money being their motivation. In school, we're taught that the President of the United States is a position that is at the top of the pyramid. But that is just not true. Maybe this was true when the position first began in the beginning of this American experiment, but more than likely not even then. But that certainly is not the truth of today. The truth is that being president doesn't even mean that you're at a high level in the pyramid. I want you to think about it. What do you even see a president do? They read speeches, they give interviews, they take photos with world leaders, but you never see them actually leading.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
on.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322.
First of all, he's not the nominee, and look, I look
Are
forward.
you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job.
The special relationship between U.S. presidents and the royal family. As the election draws closer, let's take a look back at the friendships and flirtations between the royals and U.S. presidents. Much has always been made of the special relationship between Great Britain and the United States, a phrase famously coined by Winston Churchill. But when it comes to the English royals, there's rather more to this entente cordial than just diplomatic friendliness. Presidents have been known to make grand claims to English lineage. George W. Bush is allegedly related to a whole host of royals, including the Queen, Sarah Ferguson, Princess Diana, and even Charles II. But the true titans of American politics have found aristocratic favor through the most reliable means of all: rip-roaring parties. President Lyndon B. Johnson's famously raucous dinner with Princess Margaret in 1965 resulted in enthusiastic foxtrotting into the early hours, and later a ban on the princess and her rowdy entourage, making any further diplomatic visits to the U.S. So how are all U.S. presidents related to King John of England? It's actually not super complicated. All presidents except John F. Kennedy and Martin Van Buren are of English descent. Going back each generation, the set of grandparents you have doubles. So going back 20 generations, you have 40 great-grandparents and millions of cousins. Even Barack Obama is related to King John. He's Obama's 25th great-grandfather. Here is the list of U.S. presidents with British ancestry: Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, Hayes, Garfield, Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, Wilson, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, Roosevelt, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden. Martin Van Buren is the only president who did not have any known ancestors from the UK or its predecessor countries.
What if I told you Michelle Obama is a man.
Do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
No, Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
Transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
If Michelle Obama is not a woman, but a man, then who is he? Michael LaVaughn Robinson. Obama has slipped by referring to Michelle as Michael a few times now.
The finest military in the world. Michael and I also want to acknowledge your son Jack is deployed to that.
Well, when Michelle's man,
And if Mike Obama is truly a man, then how could they have kids? Meet the parents. I've yet to see one photo of a pregnant Michelle Obama. Obama has lied just about everything, and this would just be icing on the cake. If Obama lied about his faith,
my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that that is not my Christian faith,
and lied about Michelle, what else could he be lying about?
Are these the real parents of Obama's daughters? Are these the parents of Obama's daughters, Malia and Sasha Obama? Take a look at this. This is Anita Blanchard and her husband, Martin Nesbitt. According to the New York Times, they are close family friends of the Obamas through Michelle Obama's brother, Green Arrow, Craig Robinson. There they are at the bottom, Anita Blanchard and Marty Nesbitt. Marty Nesbitt is head of the Obama Foundation. He's the chairman. Here's Martin Nesbitt speaking with Rahm Emanuel. Here's Martin Nesbitt with Valerie Jarrett and Obama. Here's Martin Nesbitt on Air Force One with Michelle Obama. Where are they headed? Well, maybe to Hawaii. There's Obama and Anita Blanchard, the wife, in Hawaii on a family vacation. Yellow shirt, that's Martin Nesbitt. Polka dot dress, that's his wife, Anita Blanchard. They travel with the Obamas to Hawaii. They are old friends of the family. What else do we notice about Martin Nesbitt? Well, he looks exactly like Malia Obama. They look very similar. They look very similar. Could this be Malia Obama's father? Could his wife, the resemblance is even closer to Sasha. Anita Blanchard looks like Sasha Obama. Looks like the other Obama daughter. Now, when bloggers went digging for baby photos of the Obama daughters, they had trouble finding anything. They found a couple things, but when we zoom in on this photo, what do we find? Blue areas are sloppy Photoshop work. I mean, it looks like it was like a cut and paste job. It's really sloppy. Now, then they tried to find birth records of the Obama daughters. They went looking for the birth doctor who delivered them. Guess who delivered the Obama daughters? That's right, Dr. Anita Blanchard, the wife of Marty Nesbitt, delivered the Obama daughters. Hat tip, Fellowship of the Minds. Both Obama daughters delivered by their parents' friend, Dr. Anita Blanchard, at University of Chicago Medical Center. So this woman on the left, the family friend who looks like the daughter, delivered the daughters, delivered both of them. Here's Obama and Marty Nesbitt. How do they know each other? Going all the way back. Well, could they be connected through the gay bathhouse in Chicago, Man's Country? Obama has a lot of shady connections through there. So the question is, could the Nesbitt be lending their daughters out to the Obamas for photo ops, and they pretend to be the Obama daughters? Why? Because the Obama daughters, two men can't have a baby.
Oh dear. Now Kamala is losing and increasing. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that.
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Say it with me. I'm not going to do something just for black people. No. She said that she has not backed off of that. She has not wavered from that. She has continued on pretending that black people aren't asking for anything. And guess what? A lot of black supporters aren't asking her for anything. But I'm telling y'all, some of y'all who said maybe you're going to ride the couch and maybe you're thinking about it, we got to start listening to these people. She's told us, I'm not going to do nothing just for black people. Even though she's done things for everybody else but black people. She was there in the White House with Joe Biden. They put her over the border where they opened it wide open and let anybody and everybody want to come over here and get what there is to get. She did that. But yet she sit up and tell you, I ain't gonna do nothing just for you because you black. But she run around talking about she black. Don't you do for people who are like you? Now, of course, she said that when she was running for president in 2020 when she was not successful. But have y'all heard her change her tune? Say, you know what? I know I said I wasn't going to do nothing for black people, but I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to give you 2 pieces of chicken and a biscuit. She ain't even said that. She ain't even said, I'm going to give you some of these crunchy greens that I get up out of my bathtub. She ain't even said that. Nothing. Because she knows that all she got to do is wiggle and jiggle and giggle. And black people were silly enough to put her in office without asking her for nothing, even though she says, I'm not going to do nothing just for you. But there's a whole lot of migrants that's in a whole lot of black neighborhoods that has gotten some thanks to the policies, the open border policies of Joe and Kamala. Oh, yeah, they got to own that. There's a lot of black people in black neighborhoods that'll never be the same. It will never go back to where it was because all the migrants have moved in there, set up shop. They get money, housing, everything else, job, training, you name it. They're getting it all. Thanks to that of Kamala Harris. And she done told black people, I'm not going to do nothing just for you. No.
Now, Kamala is losing an increasing number of black voters. So, of course, she thought she better patronise them by trying on her urban black accent again. Here, she's just warming up. It gets better.
Well, Georgia, in 12 days is Donald Trump's turn.
But she took things to new levels of derangement, new levels of inauthenticity in Philadelphia when she gave us this performance.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way.
It's too much. Incredible stuff. Incredible. In fact, that may even top Hillary Clinton's fake black accent.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
Something else it's past time we get done is dismantling the failed war on drugs, starting with legalizing marijuana.
Your opponent, Ron Gold, has said that he is for the legalization of marijuana recreationally. Your thoughts on that?
That he is entitled to his opinion. Harris is a former drug warrior who is now refashioning herself as pro-legalization. That's a positive shift, but not a reason to rewrite the past or ignore the patterns it reveals in her judgment. 4 years after the cultural tide had turned in favor of criminal justice reforms, Harris continued to support lock-em-up policies that disproportionately hurt minorities. As California Attorney General, Harris opposed marijuana legalization as late as 2014, promoted civil asset forfeiture without a conviction as a way to fight drug rings, and sought to more aggressively police prescription drug use. In her new book, Harris reveals that her drug warrior mentality hasn't changed. It's just that her emphasis has shifted.
We also need to reinstate the DEA's authority to go after the major pharmaceutical manufacturers and distributors, and we need to invest resources in law enforcement efforts to cut off the supply of fentanyl from China.
Let's believe in a more perfect union without mass incarceration of African American men.
We put more people in prison than any country on earth for no good reason.
Yes, we do. And once these people were in prison, Harris saw to it that they'd have a hell of a time getting out.
I absolutely believe there should be severe and serious consequence for violent crime, which is why I've prosecuted those cases, and will always seek the highest sentence. As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
Before her recent about-face, Harris chose not to endorse proposed sentencing reforms on the California ballot in 2012 and 2014, and she defended the constitutionality of cash bail until 2016. Harris's office also fought an order to reduce California's prison population after the Supreme Court determined the conditions amounted to cruel and unusual punishment. Although she later claimed to be shocked by what they had done, Harris's attorneys argued that nonviolent offenders should stay behind bars because the state needed the cheap labor they provide.
We are part of a longer story, and we are responsible for how our chapter gets written.
Kamala Harris is trying to rewrite her last chapter, but her record remains.
Our children and our grandchildren will ask, at that inflection moment, where were you? And what did you do in service of your family, your neighborhood, your community, and your country?
Former U.S. President Bill Clinton and Donald Trump are among the list of people named in court documents with connections to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. A judge in New York allowed the release of the papers as part of a lawsuit related to Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year jail sentence for sex trafficking crimes. Epstein took his own life while awaiting trial in New York in 2019.
Clinton and Dershowitz on Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile private sex jet, quote-unquote, the Lolita Express, named after the movie Lolita, which was openly about having sex with underage girls. It also came out that sworn statements from Virginia Roberts, the woman who claimed she was a teen sex slave forced to have sex with Prince Andrew, included the allegation that she saw the former President Bill Clinton on Epstein's quote-unquote orgy island. And then subsequently after that, and this is pretty damning if you ask me. It came out that billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein sent Bill Clinton $3.5 million from a secret Swiss bank account, according to a whistleblower. Now, remember what I previously said about Clinton obtaining a deal on behalf of Epstein and Prince Andrew and others to basically cover all this up and quell the legal, social, and political backlash received by these disgusting pedophiles. So I don't know about you, but to me this is pretty obvious. These people are all in with the same crowd. The Clintons, the Epsteins, the Trumps, and they all watch each other's back. They're all in on this, okay? Clinton made efforts to absolve Epstein and others.
And like I said, they're all in the same game. Alex Jones, it's funny about him because Alex Jones used to be down the middle, but he's never seen him go so hard for a president like he's doing for Trump. He's never made his, anytime a president gets elected, Alex Jones is bam, he got a documentary. Because everybody's not clean. And he knows that. And we know that. Let's get back into it.
Prince Andrew. You see Trump in this guy's little black book and Epstein's little black book circled and highlighted. The guy's butler, Epstein's butler, called this the Holy Grail to breaking this pedophile ring down. I mean, the Israeli prime minister, these are high-level figures. We all know that a lot of these elites are into pedophilia and stuff like that. Trump
and again,
connected with all this, allegedly, as you can see here.
Again, We seen the footage of P. Diddy. We know. But he's not the only one. Let's get into it.
Really beautiful baby, and she's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
Yeah, that's
Donald, do you ever discuss sex with your daughter?
No.
You do not?
No.
You've never sat her down?
I have a feeling we're not going to hear.
Yeah, no. Well, maybe we need to bring this up. Donald, seriously, you know about sexual predators and things like that. I mean,
You are one.
All right, I was going to say that, but it's true.
Where are we going? Let's go. Go.
Donald Trump was one of the heroes of the age. But in reality, much of his success was a facade. The banks that had lent Trump millions had discovered that he could no longer pay the interest on the loans. Trump's empire was facing bankruptcy. His wife Ivana hated him because he was having an affair with Miss Hawaiian Tropic 1985. And then, a famous Japanese gambler called Akio Kashiwagi came to one of Trump's casinos and started to win millions of dollars in an extraordinary run of luck. Trump, who was desperate for money, panicked as day after day he watched millions being siphoned out of his casino. So he turned for help to Jess Markham. Markham came to Trump's casino in Atlantic City. He analysed all the data about the way that Kashiwagi had been playing. He then told Trump to suggest a particular high-stakes game that he knew the Japanese gambler could not resist. His model, Markham said, predicted that Kashiwagi had to lose. And after 5 agonising days, he did. Kashiwagi lost $10 million, and he gave up. Donald Trump was elated. He thought he'd got his money back. Before Kashiwagi could pay his debt, he was hacked to death in his kitchen by Yakuza gangsters. And Donald Trump didn't get his money. Trump's business went bankrupt, and he was forced to sell most of his buildings to the banks. And he married Miss Hawaiian Tropic. In the future, he would sell his name to other people to put on their buildings. And he himself would become a celebrity tycoon.